My name is Emily Carter, and I'm 26 years old. I've always been the responsible one in my family. I worked hard, saved money, and took care of things no one else wanted to handle. My parents, especially my dad, always told me I was the strong one. But as I would soon learn, being the strong one often meant being taken for granted. I lived at home with my mom, dad, and my younger sister Jessica, who is 23. Jessica was different from me in every way. While I worked long hours and paid the bills quietly, she spent her days shopping, partying, and making bad decisions. My parents always forgave her, no matter what she did. It was frustrating, but I told myself it wasn't my problem. Until the day my father crossed the line. One evening, I came home from work feeling exhausted. I was looking forward to taking off my shoes and relaxing for a while. But the moment I walked in, something felt off. My mom and dad sat at the kitchen table, looking nervous. Jessica stood by the fridge, avoiding my eyes. Emily, my dad started, clearing his throat. We need to talk. I set my purse down, a bad feeling creeping into my stomach.
About what?
My mom hesitated. Then my dad finally said it. We sold your diamond ring. My heart stopped. My $10,000 diamond ring, the one I had worked so hard to buy, was gone. At first, I thought I heard wrong. What do you mean? You sold my ring? I asked, my voice shaking. Dad sighed, rubbing his forehead. Jessica was in trouble, and she needed money. We had no other choice. Jessica finally looked at me, but instead of guilt, I saw nothing but her usual selfishness. I had some debt, she said, shrugging like it wasn't a big deal. Dad helped me out. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own father had sold something that belonged to me, something expensive, something I cherished, to bail out my reckless sister. You had no right, I yelled, my face hot with anger. Mom jumped in, trying to calm me down. Honey, it was for family. Jessica needed help. I laughed bitterly. Of course, Jessica always needed help. And I was always the one who had to suffer for it. I took a deep breath and said something I knew they wouldn't expect.
Fine.
If that's how it is, I'm done. Done with what? Dad asked, frowning. Everything. I looked him straight in the eye. I've been secretly paying all the bills for months, the groceries, the electricity, even part of the mortgage. But since I don't matter to this family, I'm done. A heavy silence filled the room. Emily, you don't mean that, Mom said softly. I nodded. I do. And I'm leaving. For the first time, Jessica looked nervous. My parents looked at each other, realizing what this meant. But it was too late. I had made up my mind. I didn't wait for my parents or Jessica to say anything else. I turned, walked upstairs, and slammed my bedroom door shut.
My heart was pounding in my chest.
I had never felt this angry before. My own father had sold my ring, something that belonged to me, to cover Jessica's mistakes. And what hurt even more was that my mom had sided with them, like it was no big deal. I sat on my bed, staring at the wall. I needed to leave. Not just for a few hours, I needed to really leave. I grabbed my suitcase from my closet and started packing. Clothes, shoes, my laptop, important papers. I stuffed everything I needed inside as quickly as possible. Every minute I stayed in that house made me feel worse. After about 20 minutes, I zipped up my suitcase and pulled out my phone. I texted my best friend, Mia. Hey, can I stay at your place for a few days? Mia, of course. What happened? I'll explain later. I just need to get out of here. Mia, I'll be waiting. Come over anytime. I took a deep breath and grabbed my things. This was it. No more paying the bills for a family that didn't appreciate me. No more bailing out Jessica. No more being the strong one while everyone else took advantage of me. I rolled my suitcase down the stairs. My parents and Jessica were still in the kitchen, whispering about something. When they saw me, their eyes widened. Where are you going? Mom asked, her voice filled with worry. I told you, I'm leaving. I pull my suitcase toward the door. Wait a second, Dad said, standing up. You're really just going to walk out? I nodded.
Yes.
You didn't care about me when you sold my ring. You only cared about Jessica. So let her take care of the house now. Jessica crossed her arms. Oh, come on, Emily. You're being dramatic. I let out a sharp laugh. Dramatic? You let Dad steal from me to fix your mess, and Mom just went along with it like it was nothing. I'm done. I grabbed the door handle, but my mom's voice stopped me. Emily, please. We need you here. I turned to look at her. You needed me when I was secretly paying all the bills. But now, you'll have to figure it out on your own. I opened the door and walked out without looking back. The drive to Mia's apartment felt unreal. My hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, my emotions all over the place. I was furious. I was hurt. But most of all, I felt free. When I got to Mia's place, she was already waiting at the door. She took one look at me and pulled me into a tight hug. Okay, she said. Tell me everything. I stepped inside and took a deep breath. You won't believe what they did. As I started telling Mia the story, I realized something. This was the first time in years that I was putting myself first. And it felt good. Mia listened in shock as I told her everything. She didn't interrupt, but her face said it all. Her eyes widened at the worst parts and by. She was shaking her head. They sold your ring, she repeated. Without even telling you? I nodded.
Yep. Just like that.
And they acted like I was crazy for being mad about it. Mia scoffed. Unbelievable. And the worst part? You were paying for everything. They wouldn't have even had a house if it weren't for you. Exactly, I muttered, rubbing my temples. The whole situation was exhausting. She grabbed my hand. I'm proud of you for leaving.
Seriously.
You've been carrying them for too long. Hearing that made my chest feel lighter. Thanks, Mia. She grinned. Now, first things first, we need to get you settled. You can stay here as long as you want. Relief washed over me. I didn't have a plan yet, but at least I had somewhere to go. That was more than enough for now. The next morning, my phone rang. I glanced at the screen.
Mom.
I let it ring. A few minutes later, a text popped up. Mom. Emily, please call me. We need to talk. I ignored it. They didn't need to talk when they sold my ring. They didn't need to talk when they took my money, without even knowing it. They only wanted to talk now because they were struggling without me. An hour later, Dad called. Then Jessica. Then Mom again. I sighed and finally picked up the fourth call. What do you want, Mom? Oh, Emily, thank God you answered, she said.
She sounded different, stressed.
We have a problem. I smirked. You mean you have a problem? She hesitated. Sweetheart, we didn't realize how much you were helping. The electricity bill is overdue, the water bill is past due, and that's not my problem anymore. I cut in. Figure it out. There was a long silence. Then she whispered, We need you, Emily. A few months ago, hearing those words might have made me feel guilty.
But now?
I felt nothing. I took a deep breath and said,
No, Mom.
You need me when it's convenient for you. When Dad sold my ring, when you took Jessica's side, when I was paying for everything, you never once thought about me. And now that I'm gone, you suddenly care? Her voice broke. We made a mistake. Please just come home and we can fix this. I clenched my jaw.
No.
You're all adults. It's time you started acting like it. Then, for the first time in my life, I hung up on my mother. And it felt amazing. Over the next week, my parents kept calling. I ignored them. Mia helped me look for apartments, and within a few days, I signed a lease on a small but beautiful one-bedroom place of my own. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. Meanwhile, things at home were falling apart. Jessica called me one night, furious. Thanks a lot, Emily, she snapped. Since you left, Mom and Dad are making me pay for things. I had to give up my shopping trips and everything. Do you even care what you've done to this family? I couldn't help but laugh. Oh, you mean you finally have to be responsible for your own mess? That must be hard. She growled. This isn't funny. You're being selfish. I smirked.
No, Jessica.
I'm just done. Then I hung up on her too. For the first time in forever, I was free. And I wasn't going back. A month passed, and I had never felt happier. I had my own apartment, my own space, and zero responsibilities that weren't mine to begin with. No more secret bill payments. No more stress. And best of all, no more Jessica drama. Mia helped me decorate my place, and we celebrated my new freedom with takeout and cheap wine. To your new life, she said, raising her glass. To never being taken for granted again, I added, clinking my glass against hers. For the first time in years, I was living for myself, not my parents, not my sister, not anyone else. Of course, my family was still trying to drag me back in. Mom called every few days, her voice always filled with guilt and desperation. Emily, we're barely getting by, she admitted one night. The landlord is threatening to evict us. The water got shut off yesterday, and Jessica is struggling without your help. I almost laughed at that last part. Jessica was struggling. The same sister who had never lifted a finger in her life. Sounds like a personal problem, I said flatly. Please, she begged. We didn't know how much you were helping before. We didn't appreciate it, but we do now. Just come home, and we can fix this together. I shook my head, even though she couldn't see me. I already fixed my problem, Mom. I left. But we are family. Then why did you betray me? Silence. And that's when I knew they weren't sorry for what they did. They were just sorry for the consequences. I ended the call without another word. A few days later, Jessica called me. This time, she was crying. Emily, please, she sobbed. I don't know how to do this. I have to get a job now, and Mom and Dad are making me pay bills. I can't go shopping. I can't go out with my friends. I can't even afford my car payment. I raised an eyebrow. Welcome to adulthood. She sniffled. I get it now, okay?
You were right.
I was selfish, and I took you for granted. But please, I can't do this alone. I need you. I let her words sink in. Maybe she really did regret how she treated me. Maybe this was her wake-up call. But you know what? That wasn't my problem anymore. I sighed. Jessica, I spent years taking care of everyone but myself. And what did I get in return? Betrayal. So no, I'm not coming back. You'll have to figure this out just like I did. She cried harder. Please, just lend me some money. I hung up, and it felt amazing. With my family out of my life, I finally focused on myself. I got a raise at work. I started going out more, meeting new people, and enjoying life instead of just surviving it. And then one day, something shocking happened. I got a text from Dad. Dad, we're moving out of the house. We can't afford it anymore. I stared at the message for a long, long time. The home I had kept afloat for years gone. Then another text. Dad, I'm sorry, Emily, for everything. For the first time, I actually believed it. But it didn't change anything. I had moved on, and I wasn't looking back.